Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Total Extreme Wrestling 2020, the SWF edition. We're back. We're about to book our next Supreme TV, and we got a backstage incident. Jack Bruce, brighten the mood backstage after doing several funny cartoon drawings of his colleagues. Gotta love that, Jack Bruce. And it looks like Brandon James did something wrong. Brandon James was brought before the wrestler's court, accused of being an hour late to pick up his assigned travel partner. The judge, Enforcer Roberts, found him guilty and sent him to pay for his travel partner's meals for the next 3 shows. This had a small positive impact on Brandon James. Cool. We are going to book this show the Southeast. Seems good. Nashville, Tennessee, baby. Let's do it. All right. I will book this show, and I will be right back. All right. Show's ready. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. First off, we have the Battle of the Robbies in the pre-show. Robbie Retro defeats Robbie Wright with Murder on the Dance Floor, which is apparently his finishing maneuver. We have the classic 3 heels, 1 babyface fatal 4-way, and the babyface wins. Chris Caulfield gets the W against these 4 boys on the pre-show, 3 boys. And then finally our tag team. We got to have a tag team match and on the pre-show, and it actually did really well, considering. Primus Allen's really putting on some good shows here. He's a sweet boy. We got to get him a push sooner or later. And then starting the show, we have Mainstream and Spencer doing their typical deal, and Mainstream's got a match with Akuma and Huey Cannonball, because there's 3 tag teams. Of course you split them up and put them in a match together. That's what you do. And Akuma gets the win. Not a bad match. Then we have a angle where Valiant and Adam Smasher kind of get into it backstage. Scythe joins, and then Mikey Lau comes for the save, and then Teddy Long books him for a 2v2 match for the main event tonight. Beautiful. We have a angle where Skull to Bones is found beaten up backstage, and Des Davids comes late, and it was probably Lenny Brown, but Des Davids doesn't know who it was. So I pulled up Extraordinario Jr. for the night, which is something you can do. You can developmental workers, and I did it strictly because he has a really high selling stat, which I don't know why I cared, because obviously it's going to be a terrible segment. But basically, Rogue and Remo dressed him up as ZWB, and Remo beat the crap out of him while Rogue made fun of him. So Rogue apparently had a change of heart from last week where he was like, bro, why'd you beat him up so hard? But now they're like, whatever. Joey Morgan defeats Angry Gilmore. I really don't know what I'm doing with this 3-way feud with Randy and these two. Randy beat them both, and now they're fighting each other. I don't know, guys. Okay, so this angle actually turned out really well. This is Jack Bruce finally coming out of retirement, so to speak, and answering Brandon James. Well, technically it wasn't a challenge. He would just say, hey, we're going to sue you. And Jack Bruce said, what if we have a match, and if I win, you drop this? And Brandon James was like, you can't wrestle anymore. You're old. And then he probably super kicked him or something and signed the dotted line. And that's going to pre-book for... No, not Master of Puppets, Mike. Awesome Impact? Yes, Awesome Impact. So we're going to pre-book that match right now between Jackie Bruce, his return to the ring, versus Brandon James. Big deal here. Real big deal. Pre-book. Okay. We have a match that just kind of putting 2 feuds together. Hollywood Brett starting the Crippler defeat Rocky Gold and Brian Vesey. The Crippler he isn't coming along. I need him to come along here. And then afterwards, Hollywood does the thing again where he taunts Rocky Golden for being a loser. He's like, hey, man, you are a loser. You cannot beat anybody. And then Rocky Golden's like, well, I bet I can beat you. And he's like, oh, yeah? Well, let's have a match at Awesome Impact. Man, I'm just pre-booking the hell out of this right now. I had Steven Parker go over Pablo Rodriguez because they have good chemistry, and I needed Steven Parker to do something. And that's when Des Davids confronts Steven Parker and says, hey, did you beat up Skull to Bones? And he's like, no, but if you give me a shot at the title at the pay-per-view, I will tell you who it was. He says, you're on, and he says, obviously it was Lenny Brown, dude. Are you a fucking idiot, Des Davids? You just gave me you could have figured that out on your own, and you just gave me a shot at the title. And the last time we fought, I beat you. So, yeah, how you feel about that shit, buddy? So there's that. We've booked 3 matches so far. This has been a very successful Supreme TV. And then we have our main event, where we have Mikey Lau and Valiant defeating Scythe and Adam Smasher. And technically, I should already have that booked too, because I announced that it's happening, and that's actually kind of a whoopsie on my part. I don't think it matters how long they're booked for, so as long as they're at least a week in advance. So we'll book that too. It's official. Those two are going at it for the title at Awesome Impact. Good match. And then at the end, we have them beating each other up. Joe Spooky helps Scythe, whatever. Okay, that's one of our better shows we've had in 82. All right, let's do the rest of the pre-booking here. We will pre-book Adam Smasher versus Mikey Lau. Can Mikey Lau overcome this steroided monster without the help of Valiant? Brian Vesey versus the Crippler again. If I remember correctly, Brian won the first fight between these two. We're going to pre-book the triple threat match that I have no clue what I'm doing with. Just kind of threw these guys together, so... which is a shame, because Randy is actually considered a major star by the fans right now. So I don't know why, but he is. And yeah, we'll pre-book that. And then our last pre-booking we're going to do right now is the triple threat tag match, the three corners tag match for the titles. The Awesomeness, Hawaiian Crush, and Team Supreme. Yes. For the tag team titles. Pre-book that. There will be 2 more matches. I bet you can guess what they are if you're paying attention, but they're not ready to be booked yet. So we'll pre-book them on the Go Home show. So let's get to that. All right, here we are, the next show. Rocky Golden said he will put over Lenny Brown. Holy cow, that's a big deal. We'll see if we get to that. Our next show is going to be in the tri-state area because we haven't done that yet, and that's a big-ass area. All right, I'm going to book. I'll see you guys in a minute. All right, guys, started the show here. Here we go. Pre-show, I let Hollywood Star get another W against Frederic here. Pablo Rodriguez and Bear Bukowski. Billy Bear gets his rare win over Pablo. And then our classic tag team opener in the pre-show. Afternoon Express, due to Vessey's popularity, beats these guys. So the show starts, and ZWB returns. And basically, he's got a head full of steam. He beats up Remo, beats up Rogue. Crowd goes wild. Well, lukewarm. And they announce ZWB versus Rogue for later tonight. And if ZWB wins, he gets a match with Remo at the pay-per-view. So that's great. Just a random tag match. I let Mayhem Express get some TV time over the Faith and Old Glory. Great team there. Okay. Jack Bruce comes out and basically just hypes their match. Brandon James and Jack Bruce's match at the pay-per-view in 2 days. The other side of the triple threat with the tag team, Spencer Spade, unsurprisingly beats Hawaiian and Jefferson Stardust. Cripple and Brian Vesey have a video package. It does okay. A video package of Des Davis, Stephen Parker. Rocky Golden defeats Adam Smasher because Hollywood interferes and hits Adam Smasher on an accident. Brandon James hypes his match, and Chris Angel hyped his match with Jack Bruce. ZWB defeats Rogue in a pretty good match. We got this video package or angle or whatever. Still don't really know what I'm doing with these guys. Finally, Lenny Brown returns and gives a piece of his mind to Skull to Bones. And we can finally pre-book their match for Awesome Impact, which it doesn't really matter because it's not going to provide any benefit, but it's just for show. We're going to pre-book their match. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Oh, I can pre-book ZWB and Remo now too. Even though, again, not going to have a huge impact on the boost of the show, but it will help me book the show later. All right, up next, We have Valiant versus Randy Unleashed. I wanted to give Randy a main event match and Valiant a main event tune-up before his big title match. And, wow, 90 overall with these two, having an angle right before their big match at the pay-per-view. Best show we've had so far, easily. 85 overall is the best show we've had. That means we pretty much gained popularity in every region of America. Big Smack Scott is complaining about how he's been booked recently because he just loses, but he's just going to lose until he's not in the company anymore, so we don't really care about that. Normally, I'd wait the next episode to do the pay-per-view, but let's just do it now because I'm running out of time. I don't have time to do a whole nother episode, but I could tack this pay-per-view on there. Normally, I'd be like, oh, what are your predictions for the matches or whatever, but we're just going to roll. We're going to roll through. Maybe I'll edit it differently. I don't know. Backstage incident, ZWB. Did cartoon drawings. Jack Bruce. He was absorbed by his phone when he should have been paying attention to a locker room meeting. He has to buy a crate of beer. Positive impact on him. And we are going to do this show. Everybody's just about as popular in Canada as they are in the U.S. for us. So we're going to do Ontario, Ottawa. And I'll be right back in a minute here. So I want you guys to know, I normally wouldn't cut this part, but we are only 16 minutes to our maximum for this show, and I have to fill that with angles, and hopefully that balances enough. So we'll see. All right, I got the show booked, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. All right, so pre-show, I got a 3v3, kind of just trying to get everybody on the show so they're not mad at me. I also changed the announcers for this one. Does it say on there? Yeah. So that way Jerry Eisen and Franklin Fumier don't get mad at me, which I don't really care if Franklin Fumier gets mad at me. I care if Jerry Eisen does because he's my boss. Wanted to give Rogue something to do on the pre-show, so he beat some pretty high-profile guys, and by high-profile, I mean Chris Caulfield. Next, we have the typical tag team business. The Dallas Cowboys win again. When I allow the road agent to pick, they usually pick the Dallas Cowboys, so definitely don't pick these two. That's good. And now I believe it is time for the show. We're going to open up with a tag team match, which is, if you're paying attention to my booking, a member of Hawaiian Crush won the first triple threat, a member of Team Supreme won the second, so you knew these boys were going to win the tag team match and keep their title. And they're the best option to be our champions right now. They have great chemistry, they have a tag team specials bonus, and they're just great workers. The Crippler getting his win back against Brian Vesey, this time on a pay-per-view though, so it's a little bit bigger deal. Now they're 1-1, and they're going to have a rubber match at some point. Again, don't know what I'm doing these guys other than putting Randy Unleashed over, so there we go with that. Des Davids beats Stephen Parker, defends his title. I couldn't take the title off him. He hadn't even defended it yet. Stephen Parker's really coming along, but he's not there yet. One of my 3 angles I did one for ZWB and Remo because it's like a recap angle kind of thing is how I pictured it. That was supposed to go right before the match, but I guess whatever. I must have messed that up. Mikey Lau defeats Adam Smasher. He overcomes the David versus Goliath situation. Ooh, ZWB strained his wrist. This match wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. Somehow, that's okay. Probably because of the injury. Rocky Golden defeats Brett Starr, but he cheats, which is going to be another wrinkle in their storyline here. He cheats as a babyface. Big babyface man cheats. Another video package of these two. And Lenny Brown gets the win over Skull. We'll see how that affects his overness. I wanted to give Lenny the win. You couldn't have that feel-good story coming back and not have him get the win. Valiant vs. Scythe is next, which I did not make the main event on purpose because I didn't think it would perform well compared to what I did make the main event, but Scythe defends his title against Valiant. And then we got the main event of the night. Oh, it did a little worse. Dang it. I was hoping that Jack Bruce would push it higher, but Brandon James let us down a little bit. 80's not bad. Okay, so yeah, there's I think it's my Mexican provider that's not allowing us, and this is something that did happen in a patch recently. One of the most recent patches, he patched that you couldn't grow as much from a small provider, which should have been in the first place probably. But I'm actually gonna tell Jerry Eisen, I'm gonna give him a hug because I don't want him to be mad at me anymore. He's my boss and my brother. If we're kayfabing it, Jack Bruce had his first match back, and so did Skull. So, and I appreciate Skull taking the job there for Lenny. So we're gonna do that. They all seemed pleased. Cool. As our pay-per-view, let's see how it affected our overness. And then we're going to end the episode. I think this is going to be, I don't know how this is going to go. About the same pay-per-view buys. A strained wrist. Oh, Remo botched a move. No, they're not mad at each other, though, which is interesting. Usually they're mad. Oh, 3 days. He's good. Okay. Whew. Got a little worried there. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, first let's reset that just in case I said something weird. Oh, Hollywood Brett Starr becoming a major star here. 75 over despite a loss. Mikey Lau getting up there. Randy just refuses to go away. Remo's not up here, though, which is scary. Rocky lost a little bit there. Even though he won. Scythe and Skull lost quite a bit. We'll see where that puts our other guys. Adam Smasher still holding strong. Brandon James holding strong. Des is fine. Huey and Jefferson doing good. Lenny. Okay, this is what I wanted from Lenny. I wanted Lenny to get back in the mid-70s. Ooh, Remo is struggling. And that did that really even help ZWB? I guess, yeah. Oh, Remo. See, this happens to Remo pretty often. I don't think he's capped. We'll see. We'll have him get his next feud, he'll be a win for him. And then Valiant took a hit to Scythe, but Scythe didn't really gain much from it. What else we got? Angry still in the same spot. Brian Vesey lost quite a bit, but he gave it right back to the Crippler, so that's what I wanted there. Akuma dropped a few points. He went up a few points. Good. Joey Morgan. He's about where he should be. Spencer's slowly climbing. Steven Parker. That's an improvement, right? Yeah. So that match was good for him, even though he took the loss. I don't think anybody recognizable matters to what happened at the pay-per-view. No. It doesn't. No. Okay. So the Remo, that's the one that's hurting me. I know he was going to take a ding. I didn't think he'd take was that a 10-point ding? Because he was at like 84, wasn't he? Yikes. Yeah. And then it was, oh, man. So it wasn't a 10-point ding, but he had already taken a 10-point ding. He might be in trouble. We might have. He's not that old. I might have jobbed him out too early. I want ZWB to get up there, though. So he's getting there. We can bring him back. We can bring all these guys back. It's all about momentum. And everybody has really good momentum. You just got to, then once they have the momentum, you got to give them a nice dub against somebody who's a little higher than them. And that's really how you build it. And then through angles, if they get really good angles, like a 90 rated angle on a pay-per-view is going to help you out a lot. This is all I'm going to play for right now. I'm probably going to edit all this and put it out, but I will play more before it's all viewed. So there'll be another episode coming. I don't even know how I'm distributing this, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Be like, wow, you're an idiot. I can't believe you jobbed Remo. Whatever you want to say, that's fine. Oh, let's check our merchandise sales. We haven't looked at that. Rocky Golden is obviously our guy. Let's look at last month. Selling almost $1.5 million worth of merchandise. Jack Bruce is up there. Valiant's up there. Skull the Bones last month was up there, but now that he's a heel, he's probably not going to do as good. Remo, despite being a heel, still pretty high. Scythe. Pablo Rodriguez is the surprising one. We must be selling a lot of Pablo Rodriguez in Mexico. Who's the worst here? Shout out to Robbie Wright. $44. You got $11 in merchandise pay. Good for him. Okay, interesting. ZWB's top 5 now. Well, he's top 5 last month too, but Mikey Lau's up there. Brian Vesey somehow. I don't really get that. Wait, did I look at Hollywood? Yeah, that's right. Hollywood was considered a major star, wasn't he? Yeah, those angles he's doing with Rocky are really going over well. He's got high charisma and acting. Anyway, we're in this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. And did it save? It saved. Okay. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.